Design of Strife. Does it suck? Yes. You've seen the title. If you want my answer, there you go. That's it. You can click off now. We're within probably 10 seconds of the video starting. But there's a little bit extra I want to say about it than just yes. It's not wholly terrible. It's still bad, don't get me wrong, but it's salvageable. I think. Well, one of the two modes is. So let's start with the good one. Trauma Intervention. Now, is this mode fun? Kinda. It's the first time Arknights has really done a timed defense mode, and I think that's pretty cool. Our tower defense game actually forcing us to defend for a set time period. Yes, the mode has some problems, but compared to the other one, it's quite good. Surviving for 3 waves against increasing numbers and difficulty can feel like a chore, but the enemies aren't too tanky, so you'll at least be able to kill something. For those of us in the business, we call this foreshadowing. There are, of course, a few changes I'd make to it. Number 1, more waves. I'd keep the final wave the same difficulty, mind you, but slowly increasing the difficulty from the first wave to the final wave would be nice. Maybe something like 5 waves total. That way you have a nice in-between difficulty, say place them in between the current 3 difficulties. And it would be a pretty nice build-up. It probably would go on for way too long and people will complain about that, but that's a different question. And the second way I'd improve it is of course replayability. The biggest issue with Design of Strife, aside from its terrible main game mode, is the lack of grinding. Am I seriously going to complain Arknights isn't making an event a grind fest? Yes, actually, because you can only get the rewards for completing these stages one time, which basically means unless you really enjoy this time defense mode, there's no reason to go back to it. Also, if you locked the grindability to trauma intervention, it would at least allow those who couldn't clear the main game mode a chance to get all the rewards, because as it stands, you can. That's not a problem with this game mode, that's a problem with Formulative Battle Realm, the second game mode given to us by Design of Strife. And it's definitely a game mode of all time. It's a game mode that exists, consisting of 4 different difficulties, C, B, A, and S, each with 3 different difficulties within those letters. The game mode is not very well balanced, and that's putting it mildly. Unless you have a full team of meta units that are all M3, all potentially with modules, all potentially with potentials even, I don't think you'll be clearing S3 if you're not a true gotcha gamer. I for one am stuck. I finished A3 so I have my medal, but I cannot for the life of me beat S3. And you can all let me know how much of a skill issue that is in the comments, but I'm not saying this game mode sucks because of that. I'm saying this game mode sucks because it takes so goddamn long to kill anything. The enemies are just bloated as hell. C and B stages are actually quite manageable, but when it comes to A and S, man, even Linar isn't killing stuff quickly in those, and it's a terrible sign when one of the most broken units in the game is taking an entire skill cycle to kill some mob enemies. Whatever about the boss could be Giga Chad, but if I have to use Linar and Soda and I'm still struggling to kill the boss, it's a bad sign. And I know you only have to clear these stages one time, but how does that help you when you can't even clear it that one time? And I know all you want to do is get to level 35 and get the cardigan skin and then dip, but maybe you want those rewards, and them basically locking it behind completing the S stages is kinda shit. So how would you fix this mode? Or how would I fix this mode? Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You just tone down the enemies. They clearly bumped up that health, bumped up that defense, bumped up that resistance, and they put them all up at the same time, so you don't really have a particularly good option. Unless you have Kyobei. I don't, so you know, I'm struggling, but Kyobei is actually quite good this event from what I've seen, but still, that isn't going to be like you put down your little doggo and then suddenly the game mode is won. It's just a good unit to have, in addition to your Moina, your Soda, and of course any medics or other damage dealers you may need to clear this stage. And I know if you've been around the community or if you've talked to others, me saying this game mode is bullshit isn't a rather unique opinion. I'm sure it's fairly common. I'm sure if you typed in Design of Strife on twitter.com, you would see people complaining. You probably see a lot of people complaining. And I don't want them to come out and make modes that aren't difficult. That's not what I'm saying when I say that this mode kind of sucks. I want them to make modes that actually can be beaten by those who are not super uber veterans, who don't max risk CCs, who don't spend every waking moment thinking about how they can make their team deal 1% more damage so that they can kill the boss with 4 ops instead of 5 ops. You know, if that's you, you probably had a great time. Probably not, considering I've seen plenty of people who are good at this game, way better than me, saying they had a bad time, but maybe this game mode is specifically for you and I'm just not getting it. I'm still going to say Designer Strife sucks though, and nobody's going to change my mind on that. Hopefully they come back with a trauma intervention mode that's specifically trauma intervention. It'd be pretty great, at least in my opinion. It'd be pretty great that, you know, actually having to set up your defenses and hopefully they hold the line. It'd be cool. They'd probably need a little work, you know, especially if it's going to be the main focus of a game mode. I don't think they should throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes to this mode. It's salvageable. The other mode, Formative Battleground, I'm sorry, little one. The hardest of choices require the strongest of wills, and this is not a hard choice. Y'all be good people, and I'll see you in the next one. Finishing up with a thank you to each and every single one of you, the good people who have given me 500 subs. It really means a lot, which is YouTuber speak for I didn't think I'd get this far. But thanks very much. And that's probably the happiest I'm ever gonna be on this channel. Y'all be good people.